It's the PM Hour. What's up, y'all? We back in for another one. And we got a little topic for y'all, that maybe you haven't thought about. And we're going to get right into it of this one today. So, y'all know, my name is Patrick.
I'm Terry.
Oh, yeah, and I'm Gary. Ooh, it's all about the melody, y'all.
Yeah, so, this one is a different one for us. And so, we're talking about now that I don't know if all of you out there are aware, but, we talk about black millionaires in the country. You know how many millionaires, you have your Oprahs and billionaires, you have your billionaires and millionaires. But where are these monies coming from? Not everybody's an entertainer. All black people in this country are entertainers or musicians, where they're getting their millions from.
Or athletes,
yeah. Getting the money from different places. Mm-hmm. And so in this last year, you have news that came out, from CEO. He was on this popular investing show on CNBC called Mad Money in 2020. CEO of McDonald's, CEO Chris Kempczynski. And he said, quote, that McDonald's has created more millionaires within the black community than probably any other corporation on the planet. And we start to look at it deeply, it kind of makes sense. I mean, in Black History Month, when February in Black History Month, McDonald's is all over the black shows, and they don't mind investing in black this and black that and sponsor
high school basketball.
McDonald's is there. Mm-hmm. They're there. And we're just learning an article that came out maybe not too long ago this year, where you see that the majority of the McDonald's in Compton is owned by a black mother and daughter. Yeah. We're in Los Angeles, this show, PM is Los Angeles, California. Yeah. So, it's like news to us. Like, wow, wait a minute. The McDonald's I drove by in Compton, more than likely was black owned, and that's okay.
Or is still black owned.
Or is still black owned, even then, that's still okay. But it makes you think, though, It makes you think, what do y'all think about that?
I mean, the idea is, you can't really knock at the idea that there are black business, right? And you can't really hate on the idea of black ownership. There's also another brother, that stays right off of Slauson. You guys know what it is in South Los Angeles, right here in L.A., right? He owns a lot of this, Upper West Side, a lot of franchises, but his thing is churches. That's
Church's Chicken.
Yeah, Church's Chicken. That's his thing. Church's Chicken. He do Church's Chickens and he do
Church's Chicken in the state. Is it all across America?
I mean, you know what?
Hey,
sure.
you know about Church's Chicken?
No, we know what Church's
Okay.
No, I wouldn't say necessarily it's not. But the funny thing about what Church Chicken a lot of people don't know is that it really plugs itself in a lot of our communities. Because you don't see a lot of Church Chickens everywhere, right? Mm-hmm. It's usually a lot of we can say lower income communities or whatever, lower middle class, whatever have you. You can't really knock the idea, right, of what they're doing because it's profit, it's money. And you can't really knock that black flow. What I kind of want to look at is the idea that is the franchise itself. For me, it kind of be stealing a little bit point of here from our brother a little bit, but again, it's like why we don't focus that idea on having our black minds on stuff like that. Yeah. Why couldn't they use these franchises to platform other black businesses? You guys know Honey Kettle, right? I'm pretty sure that's owned by a black woman. That's owned by a black woman. Why can't we franchise Honey Kettle? There are other black businesses. Excuse me for not knowing all of them out there. And if you guys are out there, please let me know. Subscribe and send all the black businesses that restaurants, what have you. But there are other black owners that have their right from the grassroots, right from their family, that have these black businesses. Help franchise those. You can put that in there. They sell fried chicken just like we like, we like in the same recipes and all. So again, it's not to say that you don't look at the dynamic of what these black people have went through to get these ownerships, and they do, and it's right in our communities. We grow up all the time, so you really can't hate that because it is our community that we're talking about. So it's not to knock that, but again, like I was saying before, it's just we really should just think about more of really the idea of circulating the black dollar. And we should just make sure if it could be the dynamic
where the money
could be a
come
little
from,
bit
but
better.
Circulating it.
It could be a little bit better if they just were more black franchises we were talking about, and not so much ones that. Well, I'm pretty sure McDonald's don't got no black people on their black board or
when
black
you say circulated too, what you mean just like building another black franchise and building? That's what you mean by circulating, like?
Well, again, yes. Maybe we can use that platform to build other platforms. So this black franchise, let's say, like you said, and again, you got an idea like you're working for someone else, right? But you can use build up this one black franchise, right? And that can help probably springboard something else along into that with another black mind. Not in that, but you also could promote another just a black like a black enterprise, or I guess we say a black company.
See, can I share? I just want to say one little thing about how I feel about. I appreciate the fact that we do have these franchises owned by black people, and we do have all that, right? But we always talk about how we what we need to do to build up our community.
Yes.
And we say the thing about, like, you know, circulating the dollars and things like that. But I don't know. I feel like one of the ways too how we can make a difference, these franchise owners and these employers of black, you know, that we said McDonald's actually, not only, I guess, it makes black millionaires, but it's also one of the biggest employer. I mean, aside from Amazon and Walmart, it's one of the biggest employers of African Americans too. And just if the franchises that are owned by blacks, if you could be that franchise to say maybe pay like $15 an hour or something like that, pay a living wage, and show that paying someone a living wage, which is what a lot of McDonald's workers don't get. And a lot of people think that these McDonald's workers are young kids that live with their parents and don't need to get paid a living wage, where that's not the truth. A lot of them are, you know, single moms and, you know, people
trying
that
to
are
supplement
actually,
their income.
People trying to supplement their income, and people that this is, you know, one of the main source of their income. And, you know, they have this and maybe 2 other jobs. And so that's the case. But if this job can pay them a living wage, not just the minimum wage, and not only that, but also it can afford to offer them, or it can join them in the fight for affordable health, or not affordable health care, but for everybody to have health care. If you can fight for that, and a lot of times just fighting for those things, not only will you help the community, because our community benefit a lot from those type of things, but you will also strengthen the franchise, and you would also make such an impact that you have other companies that take advantage of their workers in this way and use it as like a leverage, so they can take advantage of their workers. You could show them that it really does not hurt your company if you treat your workers with dignity. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see exactly what you're saying.
I feel like a lot of these companies, what they do, and not to go off the rails, but you guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of that comment that Puff Daddy was saying about GM, because he had the whole and he was like, oh, you need to be doing this and you need to be doing that. But when you kind of dig into more what he's saying in the back end, he's saying all this because he could benefit from that, right, for GM, and he's trying to build up his brand and things like that, because, you know, it's kind of going down. But the whole point of that is, you say all this when you're to benefit, but if you were this whole time, his history is he made his brand off of taking advantage. He have a whole show about it, of taking advantage of blacks, or taking advantage of us. You know, and so my whole point is, if we could just, you know, we have all these franchises, if we could just show that this is how you treat your workers, you know, lead the way in that, pay a fair wage, and not still, even though we have these franchises, we're still going by the practices of, you know, I guess, big corporation or whites, you know,
capitalism,
and capitalism, you're doing that. You see what I'm saying? If we could move away from that, I think we could be the leaders in that. But a lot of these companies don't really do that. So, you know, I commend them, but
and on some level, look, these are still white-controlled institutions, and they're going to do what they're going to do. If they already have a system and a plan in place for how they're going to treat the black community, despite that, they allow them to get into certain positions to make money for themselves or generate certain kind of incomes, you know? They still have a controlling board of how the franchise is played out. But it makes me think about a story that came out about maybe a year or 2 ago, talking about Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Roscoe's, but this is a black man that created his own brand, his own style, his own food, and kind of popular. But 2 years ago, or 3, whatever, don't quote me to the time frame, but some black people were protesting Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle. Why? Because majority of his employees across his franchise were Spanish employees. So for this black man, this black owner, to have a black created brand and everything else, you know what I'm saying, the majority of his employees were Spanish. And I think it goes into the heart that, okay, well, you have this white control institution, which is McDonald's, and a lot of these black millionaires profiting from it. But we have to look into, are these black owners of these franchises, are the majority of the employees or the people they're serving are blacks? They're in black communities, so they're getting the money, but are the people they're getting paid, are they even black? So that money can circulate even better.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that work here are from the community, but are they black from the community?
Yeah.
So there's that. So other races are still winning. Amongst that, a lot of black people are still making some kind, or a certain class of black people are making money in this way.
Yeah.
And from top to bottom, from the blacks who are doing something to the bottom of black people who need, are we doing the job we need to do? Are we using these institutions in a way that'll benefit us going forward, or benefit us in a better way, so that we can springboard that into something else or something more beneficial, where the most popular places that you see black people frequent, franchise or whatever, is black owned and majority controlled and everything from top to bottom.
And we're employing like ourselves, and we're not looking to somebody else to give us employment.
Yes, I like
that.
Yeah.
That is us.
Kind of
hope that for us, by us.
The idea can move towards something like that. That's what you're trying to say. We don't really want to
just stay trapped in this cycle.
We're thinking about our community, and that's what we're all just trying to say.
It's not so much.
We want to keep that dollar circulating. If you can just have it black owned, hire black people. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you see how much we can grow. You see how much we can move around and stuff.
So our ancestors.
That's what we're saying.
So it's not just so much how we make our money; it's how we spend it. It's a larger part. That's not for me. That's from Amos Wilson. You guys need to learn that. So
we got the book series coming out. We're gonna have the book list. Sorry, the book list.
How we spend our money is much more important than it is how we make it.
100, y'all.
The PM Hour.
Subscribe.
Be there. Click that link.
100.